If you are listening to this podcast on a computer or a tablet or even a phone, then you have access to some of the most amazing vintage and modern materials ever created for learning, for education. And you don't have to wait for them to be delivered, and you probably will have to pay little to nothing for all of them. Seriously. If you follow the tips that I'm going to give to you today, you will be able to immediately access these amazing things and have the most wonderful homeschool year ever. Now, I know this sounds a little crazy, and I am a little crazy because I'm the mom of 15 kids. My name is Sherry Hayes, in case you didn't know. And over 37 years, I've come to some conclusions. Most of them are about how easy and fun learning truly is. Now, of course, we have all of the logistics of life to add in there, right? But the learning part, the education part, really isn't that intimidating. Let me show you how. First, I'm going to talk about the 4 pillars of learning. And using these 4 pillars will help you to structure all the different decisions you've got to make for your kids, right? Number 1 is gaining favor with God and men. Number 2 is the tools of learning, which are reading, writing, and arithmetic. Number 3 is the content of learning, which is science and history and all that amazing stuff. And number 4 is life application, when we actually do things and have, a life, right? So I want to show you first some of the possible vintage materials that I talk about all the time that you can find for free online. Okay, first of all, we're going to talk about McGuffey's Pictorial Primer. This is an amazing book, and you can purchase this online. You can find it in a lot of different places that it's used. You can find it on Amazon, I believe, but the source is actually Mott Media. And what Mott Media did is they went back, and I believe they got original copies of the original McGuffey readers from Miami University. I think I'm suspecting that's what they did. Anyway, they took the original and they reformatted them so that they're copywritten. So you can't find this exact copy of the McGuffey's readers for teaching reading with your children online as it is. But you can find the 1849 version of the McGuffey Pictorial Primer, and McGuffey himself was still alive when this was originally printed. And it is almost exactly the same as the printed version. But you can see here on my little Lenovo Think tab, I have this complete version right here. And you could take this and you could sit down with your little child and you could teach them to read with this volume right there on your tablet. Isn't that amazing? And that's not the only thing that you can find. You can also find other newly revised versions, and I have links to different readers that I will include in a blog post on my website, momdelights.com, which you can access, and I will try to put as many links to these old materials as I can so that you can look at them and decide if you want to use them. Here's another one of those resources that you can find. This is Harvey's Elementary Grammar. This is everywhere on the internet for free. This is a grammar book that I suggest people use after they use my gentle grammar books. And you can even find that online for free. So anyway, so this is something you can find, and you can find it on Internet Archive. You can use it the same way I just showed you that you could use for the McGuffey's Pictorial Primer. Now, besides that, there are so many other things you can take advantage of. You can take advantage of the Ray's arithmetics, and you can do just the same thing I showed you, like on Internet Archive, and you can have your child use that as well. Now, there are other sources for these vintage materials, and one of my favorites, especially for content, is DIY Homeschooler. And if you go on that site, you will be able to find old books that are in the public domain, and they've actually done full-blown studies on these. They have suggestions for links, they have suggestions for notebooking, they have all the good stuff that you can use, especially for things like nature study or history. They even suggest a series of math books that are like the practical arithmetics that are sold printed. And there's just all kinds of stuff you can take advantage. So I suggest you try to go there. You'll find all kinds of stuff that you can do with your tablet. Now you need some things to go along with this that aren't necessarily curriculum. You will need basic office supplies. All right, and you can get these for a song right now if you go to the school supply sales that are beginning probably right about the time of this publication. Maybe you'll have to wait a week or two. But anyway, for about $30 or less, you can purchase some paper, either loose leaf or in the form of a composition book or a spiral notebook. You can get some mechanical pencils really cheap. You can get maybe a 3-ring binder or some of those little pocket folders that have the little holes in the middle, or the little prongs in the middle that you can put your papers into. You can get some crayons and some colored pencils, and you can get some index cards because you can flip them over and use the blank side and get some glue sticks to glue them on the page so you can draw. And you'll need a highlighter pen if you have kids that are needing to do some primary handwriting, etc. And you can get all these things for such a cheap price, and you can use them with all these free or nearly free online materials, and you can have a full-blown curriculum that takes advantage of the best of the past and brings it into the modern age. Now there are other sources for these amazing books, and they are places like the Gutenberg Project, which has all kinds of public domain books that have been scanned in and formatted, and you can just read those right from your tablet or your phone even. And they also have lots and lots of really good public domain classic books literature, such as Jane Austen or G.A. Henty or R.M. Ballantyne or Louisa May Alcott. These are all public domain books that you could take advantage of. Also, Internet Archive. I go and I use that thing all the time. Internet Archive. I do searches and they usually bring up the free books. And like I was showing you with that McGuffey's pictorial printer, that is Internet Archive. And it's pretty easy to read to a child right there on your tablet. You can go to Google Books, and if you have an Android, then you have Google Play on your phone. Google Play is how you access your library in Google Books. So you go to Google Books and you find a book you want, you put it in your library, you can access that via Google Play on your Android with the app. Also, you can go to heritagehistory.com and there are all sorts of history books, history novels, history fiction, right? Historical fiction? Yeah. You can access there and you can read those online as well. And they even have them in Mobi. So if you have a Kindle, you can put them on your Kindle. I've done that before to our Kindles. I have a number of heritage history books on our Kindles that I got directly from the site. I didn't go through Amazon. Anyway, also when you have a tablet or a phone, you can put the Kindle app on there so you can read all kinds of free Kindle books. They have all kinds of public domain books on Kindle that you can read for free. I must have 200 of them. I have like 276 books in my Kindle library, and I think 200 of them, at least, maybe more, are all free. And when you do that, you might even find a few books that you really like and you'd really like to read to your children, but they aren't in the public domain, but Kindle books tend to be a little less expensive. Am I right? I have a few of those on mine as well. So after you have all these wonderful materials, and I would include in there a Bible app, because if you think about it, your Bible is the most vintage book you probably own. So in order to take advantage of using the Bible with your children, you can go to an app such as Bible Hub. That's the one I like to use. I know there are others, but I use my Bible Hub app, and that's how I study. And you can read all the different versions to your children. Pick the one that your children most understand, and they have Bible maps, and they have commentary, and they have, the Greek and the Hebrew that you can access. Everything is there right on your tablet. And what you can do with that is every day you start and you pray and you read some Bible, a Bible passage. I like to start with Genesis and the book of Mark, and then maybe a psalm and maybe a proverb. And you could do that like 4 days a week, and maybe on the 5th day do something different. And either you could read to your kids, and if you have little kids, just pick out the Bible stories, the main Bible stories. Now, I am creating and curating lists and lists together in my big book of homeschooling, right? And there are actually lists of just the stories of the Bible, and you can find them online. So in other words, like in Genesis, you could just tell the creation story, and then you could just tell the story of Abraham and Sarah, like that, or about Noah and the flood, and you can just tell the story parts to your children. Just read them aloud and talk about them. But anyway, as your children age, then you could just do a chapter at a time, and you could either read the whole chapter to them and talk about it, or split it up so everyone has a chance to read it, and then you all talk about it. Different ways to do that. You can assign your children to write different passages out. There's another way to do that. And then you could take advantage of, books about saints and heroes of the faith. And you could read those aloud. There's so many ways to go about that. Also, as you're reading this wonderful literature, as you are taking advantage of these vintage books, you could apply the basic ideas that Charlotte Mason put forth and that have been around for a long time, such as copywork, dictation, narration, both oral, written, or even drawing and narration, right? You can take advantage of all those things, use those basic office supplies, and have your kids do that. It's better than a fill-in-the-blank workbook that you pay $40 for and your kids only use part way because you can't stand it. Waste of money. You don't have to do that. You can use basic office supplies, these vintage materials, or newer materials that are still free or nearly free online, and you can take advantage of that. Also, there is a company called Living Books Press that has lots of these vintage books that have been reformatted so they're easier to read, and they have been put in PDF form, which is something you could also read on a tablet. So there's so many different ways you could do that. And after you've had time with Bible and you've done your reading and your arithmetic with these different things, and you can do your content by watching videos on YouTube like crazy, and you can go to different sites and learn how to do different important things. You can learn about relationships. You can learn about being successful in business. There's so many things you can do with a tablet, and you never have to wait for a book to come. But it's nice to have books. I like books. I like physical books. But if you just wanted to try out some things today and maybe do some more freewheeling with your homeschooling, things that are outside the box, things that are actual learning that don't depend on the curriculum grind, right? And don't cost $300 per child, then try to use your tablet and try to take advantage of all the wonderful things that are there. I hope you'll take me up on this. And along the way, you can even go on my website, momdelights.com. I have a whole bunch of free PDFs for download. You can take advantage of some of that, although you probably want to have those printed out, right? And so you can print them out yourself, and you can bind them, or you can use them loose leaf, or you can go to Amazon.com where you can buy these things already printed out and bound for you. I have on there Splendid Spelling. I have Gentle Grammar. I have the lesson books. I have commonplace books. I have a record keeping book for moms, which you record after the fact. It's not really a planning book, but you can record all the wonderful things you're doing with your kids. A lot of people really like that record book. Anyway, so with that, I hope this has opened your mind and opened your heart, and that even if it's just a try before you buy, just try some of these materials. You have summertime, and in summertime, the kids, like at the beginning, right, your kids are going, wow, it's summer, let's go swimming, let's go hiking, let's do this and that, because it's not quite as hot. But when you get to the lull of summer, when it's really hot and stifling and the kids are going around whining because they're bored, this is when you do some experiments with homeschooling. Just give you that idea. So with that, I hope you'll stick with me, because I love sharing this kind of stuff and I love encouraging mommies. So you have a wonderful day. So you have a wonderful day in Jesus. Bye-bye.